Hello and welcome to Crush Your Mountain Personal Growth. I am so thrilled to have with me today Jay Perez. Now listen, you're going to love this man's story. He's been homeless, he's been on the street, he's struggled in so many different ways, okay? But in spite of all of that, he is crushed through and he's actually created two companies, and we're going to do a deep dive into them. Let me tell you a little bit more about him. As you see, am I correct to say he's in California? Yes. And he is actually, he's an amazing gentleman that I've spoken with for a while. He impressed me with his passion for what he does and his appreciation for fitness and his development of equipment that helps individuals to get in shape. All these things are what makes this man an amazing person and a great symbol of personal growth. Let me introduce again to you, Mr. Jay Perez. Welcome to Crush Your Mountain.
What's up, guys? Thank you, Henry, for having me. Seriously, thank you for the introduction. That was probably one of the best introductions yet, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm here hopefully to provide value through sharing my story and my experiences, and so I'm ready to go.
Well, let's dive right in, okay, and talk about your story, because right now we know that you managed to develop two companies and you're doing very well with them. But now, give us your humble beginnings first, sir.
Humble beginnings. I mean, are we talking kids or to like where the struggles happen? Because where the struggles happen, I think that's where it matters most. You know, I came from, middle class, so it's not like I came from a lot of money. Came from amazing parents who taught me work ethic. I would think was the number one thing they taught me. Grew up on 2 acres, so guess what? While the kids were playing, I was cutting grass, cutting down trees, doing 2 acres worth of yard work. So I honestly think that's what made me different right there. Fast forward to just being one of those people who have, a chip on their shoulder, like every other teenager, think you know it all. What's the word I'm looking for? Thinks that, you have all the right answers, and it's my way or the highway. And that led me to the hardships that you talked about earlier in my introduction. If I could go back and just give my younger self a little slap, it would be that, have respect. Respect, I think, would have led me down a different path. And who knows if I would still be here. That's always that conundrum of, am I where I am because of the journey, or would I have gone here anyways? Because I have the work ethic, would I have gone here anyways? But it would have been a lot smoother ride. You know what I mean? So you never know the answer. Here I am now. But yes, I did battle through the homelessness. I did, go from couch surfing. I did, last dollar, lived in a storage unit. And guys, I think one of the things that a lot of people have, they have this extravagant stories with no, I want to say proof. I mean, you don't have to prove anything to anyone, but during those times I did record, and I have those things on Instagram and other social media platforms where I was like, hey, look, this is me at this time. This was 10 years ago, guys, when 8 years ago, and I experienced these things. And in my heart, I knew, like, if I didn't capture it now, story would be the same. I would tell it just the same, but now I can show people like, hey, look, this was my storage unit bedroom, which is illegal. Don't do that. I didn't, you know what I mean? I just had like a makeshift bedroom in a sense of I stayed there during the day, never at night. We would get kicked out anyways, even if I tried, but never did. I worked nights anyways, 5 days a week. So anyways. So yeah, I mean, I guess I without going on, that's kind of where, bits and pieces of the story, the humble beginnings that you asked for. And I'm pretty sure we'll dive in deeper with as we progress.
Well, that's very interesting. You said, learn respect. So it sounds like you had some hierarchy issues there in your youth. And when someone put the word down and said, it's my way or the highway, they might have said, well, look, you're going to get the highway, Yeah. And here's the interesting thing. Do you think that taking that path might have put you on the road to utilizing and honing your resources that brought you through to where you are now.
Yes, no, I definitely think so. And that's what like I said, that's where like the what if question comes around. Like a hard worker is a hard worker, right? Like they don't need, what's the word I'm looking for? Something bad or crazy to happen to them to work even harder. You know, they're going to work hard regardless. And I think I already had that in me. I think it was instilled into me growing up, though, the way I was raised. I had the work ethic. I had the mindset. I had the drive. I don't think that I do believe that putting myself in a certain situation of choosing the highway and making it hard for myself helped me build some character, tough skin, resilient, never giving up kind of attitude. So I think it helped grow traits that I already had, if that makes sense. I sometimes think people always need a story. And the reason why I like to emphasize this, because people think they need a story to make it big. You know, the truth is either you can work hard and you can scale your work and you can, build your character and the work ethic to grow and scale. And you don't need the story. Sometimes I feel like people are trapped behind like, well, I don't have a big story. I came from a good house. I came from money. I came from, and that's okay. Do you have it in you already? And you go from there.
That's very interesting because, just before I came on and you came in, I was talking to the group and I was saying that, life doesn't happen to you, life happens for you. And adversity is really the opportunity for you to look within yourself and see what skill, what ability you need to develop in order to crush through that, to avail yourself really of it, as opposed to oppose it, you see? So wouldn't you say then that is the story in itself? Isn't the story itself of how an individual, regardless of where they came from, one of those that came from a pretty good household, on the surface, you see, on the surface, when people would look, like my wife would say, "Y'all were upper middle class." I said, right. I'm like, I don't know about that, but and they were shocked to see the type of wedding that we had, like my parents had. They were shocked to see the places that we lived, the people that we knew and stuff like that. But that's not the story. The story is how I dealt with all the adversity and then what it pulled out of me in order for me to be able to utilize my ability, my skills to help people today. The same thing with you is how it helps you to utilize your skills and your ability, your insights. Tell us a little bit about the first time you went into business.
The first time I went into business was, I'll be honest, again, I don't mean to be like a grandiose story, but I was already living in my car for quite some time now. And I was working full-time, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., and then going to school from 8 a.m. was where my first classes started. So 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. I studied for 2 hours until I was falling asleep, nap for an hour, and I did that 5 days a week, So, and while I was living at home, and my car, living in my car, and I was going to Planet Fitness. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Planet Fitness. We have Planet Fitness. So this is when they first opened up, and I'm sure they still have these deals, but it was $1 to sign up, and it was open 24/7. And I showered there for $10 a month. That was my rent. My rent was gas for my car and $10 a month to shower, shave, brush my teeth, and all that stuff. After a while, I was like, and I was working at Walmart, and I was making like, I think it was like $10 an hour. And I finally, after a while, just like, I fell asleep a couple times behind the wheel. I was just killing myself, and I just broke down. I broke down in tears. I broke down in like just frustration, disappointment, all towards myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a company that means something. I didn't want to just start a clothing line. Everyone wanted to start a clothing line. And, they always just wanted to put their name on a shirt. I didn't want to put my name on a shirt. I wanted to put a meaning on a shirt, accountability. I wanted to put, like, if you wore this logo, you wore it that day with intention. You wore it for a purpose, right? So I came up with Forge out of the back of my Toyota Corolla. Started building, getting cut and sew. So not only did I not just go, I'm just going to print out shirts, I actually went cut and sew, meaning I handpicked the fabric. I drew out my designs. I had my own pattern makers, my marker makers, my seamstress. I walked up with, like, not like cocky, but I walked up like I knew what I was doing. I'm this homeless guy living in this car, and I'm doing a route that not most apparel designers or apparel clothing brands do, even to this day. They all outsource their stuff. They all have the same, like, literally I could pull out 10 companies and I promise you they have the same shirt, just a different logo on it. I didn't want to do that. So instead, I like I said, I handpicked my fabric. With that being said, I pulled out all my savings from my 401k, and I was young, and I said, if it doesn't work out, I'll just rebuild, build my savings and everything. So I pulled out my savings, and that's kind of my first step into business, was just going all in. I didn't have a plan B. It was more of I didn't think about a plan B. It was just more of this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it.
Mm. So at what point now, so how did that company turn out? Because you said the name of the company was Forge?
Forge, yeah. It's
a nice, strong name. But now, how did Forge do? And then what was your next step?
Well, Forge was doing really good. This was when, Instagram wanted people to succeed, without, saying much more. The algorithm was a lot different. I had people purchasing my clothing from Australia, Netherlands, Russia, China. Like, it was crazy, like the worldwide company. But then I got hit with a cease and desist because someone else had a fitness clothing brand called Forged with a D. And obviously that was just too close together. And that was my first huge hurdle, was not knowing the legalities of starting a company. I wasn't really the person who started my LLC. They didn't really go in. They didn't tell me, like, hey, they took my money to file the LLC, and they, whatever they did to let me get it, whether they put me under something else, I don't know. But it was just too close for the other company that was well established already. They were well established. I have a screenshot of the CEO messaging me, and we were going back and forth, very cordial, very polite. I just said, hey, what's the next step? And he's like, look, I'm not a lawyer. I can't give you legal advice. He goes, but I do have, everyone who has the name Forge, I do have like 7 open cease and desist, like already open. Take your chances, but most likely my team's going to get you, pretty much. And I'm not going to lie, that was my first big hurdle, because I was already building a company 3, maybe 4 years, building that name, building the logo. And I had to let go of it. There was nothing I could do. I had to let go of
it. So once you did that, did you immediately turn around and do something else? Or did you have to do a little bit of soul searching at some point? Where did that put you?
So it put me in a place of a stagnant, like, content place, because what happened was, if you guys, some of you guys, and most of you guys probably are not familiar with my logo or my name, but Forge had an F, and my slogan, or my mantra for Forge, was live heated, be formed, which was a play on words with Forge. Forge means to mold or create through concentrated effort, throwing it in the furnace, burning it, and then hammering it into the shape you want. And that's what I thought not only fitness was, but life was. I was experiencing that. That's why, again, I wanted people, when they wore the F, the logo, they were letting people know that they were willing to be thrown into the fire, and they were willing to come out and just be better. Live heated, be formed. Live with passion, live with fire, live with purpose, and be formed into the best version of yourself. That was what live heated, be formed was. So I really loved the F. I didn't want to let go of it. I didn't want to let go of Forge. So what I did was BFRMD. BFRMD stood for Be Formed, right? So I changed the name to Be Formed and I put BFRMD. I'll be honest with you, I never liked it, but it was one of those things that it will do, you know? And that led to starting a gym as well. And I sat in after I spent, you know, tens of thousands and then going into the hundreds of thousands of dollars into the gym. I sat there and I just saw the banner. I just had the banner made, you know, 4x6 banner, huge banner just sitting in front of me. And I'm just sitting in the gym 1 a.m. And I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, this will never be a company. This will always be a hole in the wall gym. And I'm not okay with that. You know, I'm not okay with that. So that's when a soul searching happened. That's when I said, I'm going to really dive in and just see. I prayed about it. I'm Christian based of Christian faith. And I said, God, give me strength. Give me strength to let go of it all. Just let it go. And I went to the drawing board and I came up with a company called Exuvus. And now when I did that, it was crazy how much the company grew from just the name change alone. Logo change, name change, and gives me the goosebumps because I remember when I did, I was nervous. I said, you know what? I'm just going to let it happen. And the next day I had people just like, how are you so good with coming up with names? And it was so well received. I said 100 prayers that day just of thanks because it was that well received.
You know, it's amazing because what you're describing is kind of the process I even take my clients through on I would say on a micro scale. You're kind of talking macro here, just in terms of life. But, you know, the whole idea of the crush method is to conceive and then commit. And we saw when that happened, when you just kind of threw caution to the wind, you took your 401k out and you went ahead and you committed to the work and you started doing the work. But then when you get hit with this cease and desist order, when you start, okay, you decide to switch up a little bit, do the gym, okay, but then it hits you, this is not where it is. So now you're moving into that refine and rework, the art of the whole idea, you see, and all the while you're as you refine, you rework, you come up with this name, and now you undertake that, and you're just moving through the phases, you see, and that's what I love about talking to individuals like you, because it helps people to see how that can work and how I can support them when it comes to their business, when it comes to remitting, lowering glucose, remitting diabetes, type 2 diabetes, things like that. But let's go on now, because now we're in Exuvus. Now, is that where you came up with the Fastbar Pro? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So Exuvus is my fitness company. It's my training facility, which I'm in right now in the office. You can probably hear the music bumping, but I asked them to turn it down just a little bit. So Exuvus is its own entity. Now, this is the fun part about Fastbar Pro. So Fastbar Pro is a fitness equipment that I designed. It's not an original idea. At first, I kind of thought it was. It's not, but it has its original concept on it as well. So again, the products that are comparable are made out of plastic. Mine's made out of steel. I don't mess around when it comes to quality. I tell people all the time, there's two things that you need to focus on when you're building the company, is making sure you're a solution to a problem and making sure you're doing it with quality. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I had someone buy my product, and I don't want to throw any names out there. So they used my product as a video and smashed the other product to show the difference in the integrity of the product.
Wow.
And they did. I would never ask to do that, but they were so impressed that I was willing to spend 5 times more on a product, still keep it within the same price range. And they were like, man, and they did it themselves. They smashed it up and they were like, yeah. So that's why I focus on quality. So anyways, the Fastbar Pro is is a fitness equipment, right? Product that's plate loaded. And I have some huge news. I can't say it on here, but be ready. Maybe next time I'm on here, I could be telling you something massive. And we're talking life-changing on the product itself. So you might be seeing it soon. But I use the F, the logo for the F, for Forge. And I loved this. I was like, I don't know what to do with it. And it became the Fastbar Pro logo. And it fit so perfect, so beautifully. It was meant, the F was almost never meant to be for Forge. It was never meant to be for B-Form. It was literally meant to be for Fastbar. And it blows my mind till this day. So that's how it transitions.
Well, when are we going to get a chance to, number one, hear exactly what it does, and number two, see it?
I wish I wasn't thinking, I didn't even think to like bring a little product, but you can see it on Fastbar Pro Instagram. The website is probably being updated as we speak, so it might not be there as well. I'll be honest with you. I post more on it on my personal Instagram, so shameless plug, but you know, JD Perez, you'll see a lot of it used there. And my coaches use it all the time on in the gym. So there's plenty of places you'll see it used. I just didn't come prepared.
So how would I, because I got to get myself back on track here. So how would I use Fastbar Pro? Could I use it at home, or do I need to come to the gym?
No, so that's the beauty of it. It is a home. It's geared heavily towards home. It's geared heavily towards people who just have plates. It's geared towards athletes, geared towards all different levels of fitness, because what it is pretty much it takes off the bar off your back to do a squat, and it allows you to have it center gravity. So you're holding it like a T-bar between your legs, and you're doing squats there. So it helps prevent back injuries. It's very useful for people who, I've had people, women, who can't even squat a bar on their back because they're leaning too forward, their knees cave in, their back hurts. Going from not even being able to squat 45 pounds to on the fast bar, they're squatting 100 pounds. Because it's the way it centers you, the way you hold it. It just helps, you know. And then athletes, when they're afraid to squat because they've heard horror stories, although squatting is an amazing movement, just some people aren't willing to take that risk. So especially athletes, they don't want to throw their back up. They don't want to tweak anything. They don't want to get herniated discs. They don't want to do anything to their back and put themselves in that position. So the Fastbar Pro is actually a great alternative. And actually, I have a Fastbar Pro in a gym in Athletic Gains, who they train nothing but professional basketball players and football players. And so we might be doing a collaborative video right now. So they're using that so it's a very heavily lower body product, but because it has interchangeable handles, you're able to do triceps with it, rows with it, curls with it as well. So that you're able to take off a handle, put on a new one, and everything on the Fastbar Pro is made out of steel. There's not anything that's plastic, anything cheap. It's literally the whole product is made out of steel.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, you know, that's nice, because for me, right now I'm working on, you know, I'm certified health and life. I've got my, I'm certified, you know, in CPR, trained in terms of working with individuals and teaching public speaking, as well as engaging in terms of, you know, taking the deep dive into the heart rate variability. Now I find the need to help my clients who have pre-diabetes and or type 2 diabetes to get into the gym and give them some simple tips, give them things that they can work with to build their muscle so that the muscle can metabolize the glucose more effectively. And it sounds like this is something that would do very well for them, you see. So it's perfect that, you know, we are having this conversation, because there's so many people that need to be more involved in their fitness and health.
Yeah,
I keep telling them it's not about the good looks; it's about the good feel. It's not about, you know, about a beach bod. It's about your health and being in your optimum state to prolong your life as long as the system is around. So that's a really great thing. Now, tell me, this is taken off so very well, but you moved from there into another company. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. And what made you, what caused you to begin that evolution?
All right. So the company you're mentioning is called GENOVIX. And GENOVIX is something that I wish I had when I first started business. It's something that I think everyone wished they had when they first started business. And that is answers to your questions. You know, you ask when you start your business, and I don't know why it is this way, and people can vouch for me. Maybe some people on here are already watching, they can vouch that if you ask me a question on how to build your company, I will give you all the answers. I don't hide anything. I'm not secretive. I don't see anyone as competition. And if you feel like you can outwork me, good luck, because I'm only going to work harder, right? It's not out of competition. I don't think you're going to steal any money from me. I don't think you're going to steal any clients from me or customers. It doesn't matter. The goal is, can we build a community where we push each other to work harder? That's it. With that being said, full circle back, I tell people a lot of times you ask all the right questions to all the wrong people. You know, you ask someone who's, you know, in your field, and you ask them, hey, how did you get here? And they're just going to say, oh, you know, just work harder. Like, that's not that's a part of it. But in the end of the day, they don't tell you how they got their leads. They don't tell you how much money it takes, you know, to start the company. They don't tell you, they won't give you the connections maybe to a realtor that can help you find a small brick and mortar. They don't give you connections to, you know, a paralegal who can help you start your LLC or your S Corp or C Corp. They don't give you any connections, any tools, any resources, any real knowledge to truly help you grow. And that's what GENOVIX is. GENOVIX literally is the opportunity to help businesses, no matter where you are, just starting, you know, stagnant, you know, plateau, you're a medium business, small, it doesn't matter. It's GENOVIX is supposed to be a company that truly puts your company first. Like, that's our business. Our business is putting your company first through CRM, data tracking, showing you how to work a pipeline, showing you how to work an automation, showing you how to do a workflow, to building your own funnel, to building your own website. Like, we can show you how to do it, or we can do it for you. Either way, it's going to get done. And it's implementations that you can, that do it right then and there. Like, it's not like, hey, you know, do this a month from now. No, do it now and start getting the results now. You know what I mean? And so, it's the coach inside me, I guess, too. You know, I've been a personal trainer for 15 years, with the health and wellness side of things. Now I'm never not going to be a personal trainer at heart. I'm never not going to be a coach at heart. But now I've done my time as a personal trainer, right? Now I'm the gym owner. Now I'm a franchise owner. I had fun with that, and I still do, but now I want to change the business side of things. I want to show people that you can make your dreams a reality. You know what I mean? You just have to find the company that's willing to put you first. And I created GENOVIX, you know, and so here we are.
That's excellent. You know, so many people actually need to know where to go. They need to go, need support to get on the path of entrepreneurship or business. You know, it's interesting. You have so many schools. You have like the Wharton School of Business and other institutions where people pay tens of thousands of dollars to learn to be entrepreneurs. But the entrepreneurial spirit is basically within any individual who just wants to take care of their family and survive without having to spend their life doing something that they might hate, or they're doing something that just kind of sucks their soul slowly. Right. You know? And so anybody, you think about one of the big names out there, okay? And I do not advocate this particular company at all, but those of us that are old enough to know, to remember, and I don't think you're old enough to remember, but there was a guy whose name was Colonel Sanders. They called him Colonel Sanders. But he did not start his company until he retired. And then he looked at his paycheck, his monthly income. And he said, I cannot live on this. Yeah. So he went and got his mom's chicken recipe, and KFC was born.
Yeah.
You see?
And it's a beautiful, not to cut you off, but that actually is a beautiful story, because although I wasn't, born at the time of starting, people like him do inspire me, because he was told thousands of no's of his recipe, and he had written his suicide note or letter. So, I mean, people don't know that, but he was literally on the verge of committing suicide. He had the note in his hand and everything, and it's that power of one more, and he did it. He won one more time. And yeah, that's how KFC started, to know. So when you think, I tell myself that, and I tell other entrepreneurs, when you think you're at the end, you're not. You know what I mean? I think Gary Vee says it best. You're not lost. You're just early in the process.
Yeah. I like to tell people, if you're not broken, you're just not finished. Because a lot of people come to me and they feel that there's something wrong. Mm-hmm. And all of us, and I know you yourself have run into your own moment of self-doubt. You're sitting there on the ocean of life, and you start getting hit with those storms of self-doubt, guilt. If I didn't do this, or maybe I should have done that, and it is when you are in those storms like that you have to remind yourself, indeed, you're not broken, you're just not finished. And you're not, and this is just another mountain to start digging, start hitting through, start building, crushing that tunnel, and you're going to see the light at the end of it. It's just determination and your endurance and your innovation and being resourceful, as opposed to looking for resources.
Right.
Right. So at this point in life, where is Jay Perez? And by the way, I Googled Jay Perez, and this famous singer came up. Any relation?
No, I think Jay Perez is a Hispanic singer, correct? Yeah. I haven't made a name for myself yet, but hopefully one day when you Google Jay Perez, it'll be CEO of Exuvus, GENOVIX, and the Fastbar. Those are my three babies. They're my only focus. So maybe in 5 more years, when you Google Jay Perez, I will be the first one to pop up. But where am I right now? I'm on hustle mode. I got my blinders on, and I learned this the hard way. So I'm gonna say it now, because I just came back to social media, and I was pouring from an empty cup. Right? I just kept pouring into this person, into that person, into this community, into that community. And the truth is, from that hard lesson, I took like 60 days, like 2 months, give or take, a break from social media. And in that time, I realized that where I want to be is someone who's just literally just focused. I'm going to focus on me and the people around me, right? And in my inner circle. And in doing so, we're all going to succeed together. I'm not going to reach out. I tell people, I'm not going to use social media to reach out to you anymore. I did it. I've done it. And right now I have to focus on my companies. You know what I mean? So if you want to be part of my journey, when you follow me on Instagram, I'm going to like your stuff. If I see it, I'm going to support you regardless. But I realize that I'm not going to be just pouring to other people. And that's, unless you show me otherwise. Like if you show me you're somebody worth pouring into, I will pour into you all day. But that full circle back is right now, again, I'm in hustle. I'm in grind mode. I just want to focus on Exuvus, GENOVIX, and the Fastbar. I got huge things happening in Exuvus, franchises hopefully coming very soon, clothing brand coming out again. GENOVIX, it's so awesome to see the companies that are going under GENOVIX trusting us. Our 3 core values in GENOVIX is trust, passion, integrity. With those 3 core values, we have been able to help companies. Companies are willing to trust us. And I can't wait to see one day where hundreds of thousands of companies say, if it wasn't for GENOVIX, we would not be here today. I cannot wait for that. I can't wait for millions of people to say, if it wasn't for Exuvus and their 3 core values, which is commit, execute, and conquer, my life wouldn't change. My health would be, still crappy. My mindset would be crappy. You know what I mean? And with the Fastbar, hopefully it's a household item one day. And yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm so focused in the now because I can see the future very clearly.
That's amazing. I'll tell you, I know that's something that's going to happen for you. I've run into a couple of individuals who are actually trying to do fashion shows, and it's kind of centered around diversity and things like that. And I don't know where they are as far as what they're trying to do, what they're going to do. But if perhaps somehow that works for you, and you want to put out a line of clothing, maybe you'll touch base with them, what have you. You're in my group, they're in my group, you'll meet up, I'm sure. But here's the one thing I would ask of you. Okay, you've been through a lot. You've learned tremendous lessons. Okay, you've done so many different things for your youthful age, and you've gone from showering at Planet Fitness and sleeping in your car to running a gym to owning 3 companies and then coming along and growing. So I would have to ask you, Jay Perez, just to round things out, what does it mean for you to crush your mountain?
I think if I'm going to say, it goes back to my 3 core values that built everything I have right now. It's literally commit to yourself, right? And when you commit to yourself, you have to build authority in yourself. And what does that mean? It means, have you ever seen somebody, New Year's comes and they say they're going to lose weight, right? Everyone wants to lose weight. What do most people say when they lose weight? They don't say, this year, I'm going to do it, no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm going to happen, no excuses. It's going to happen. Most people say, if not all people, I'm going to try losing weight this year, but we'll see how long it lasts. That's what everyone says. We'll see how long it lasts. What does that mean? It means that they lost their authority in their own voice. It means that when they say they're going to do something, they don't even believe it themselves. So commit. Most people around me and in my circle, again, people probably can vouch. I'm pretty sure anyone on here that knows me can vouch. If I say I'm going to do it, if I commit to something, they know it's going to get done. No one ever questions me. They would be more shocked if I don't get it done. Okay. So commit is your number one thing. And I don't mean just saying it. I mean actually doing it, right? If you find yourself in a position where you lose authority in your own voice, please take a step back and focus and truly start what's the word you use? That's the inner soul searching right there. Like, you have to realize that if you lose authority in your voice, you have to start from scratch, start over, break those bad habits. Then it's executing. That's the action part, executing your commitment. It's easier said than done. We all know this, but it's making a game plan. If you don't make a game plan, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know the accomplishments you made. For instance, if I say I'm going to work out, eat healthy, and read a book and work on my business 2 hours a day, I'm just giving you some random stuff. At the end of the day, I don't do half of that list. I know I didn't do half that list because I can clearly see it, right? If you don't write it down, you don't know what you've gotten done or what you didn't get done. So have a plan, have a game plan. And guess what? You do that for a week straight, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, it doesn't matter. You'll see the results because you see yourself keeping yourself accountable. And last but not least, out of the 3 core values is conquer. So you got commit to yourself, execute your commitment, and conquer your excuses. Conquer the days you don't want to show up. Conquer the days you don't want to do it. Conquer the times that life throws a curveball at you. We all have our stories. We all have our ups and downs. We all, some of us experience some things worse than others, and that does not matter. It's your journey. So stop comparing. If you have to conquer a loss of a loved one, That's your journey to do so. A loved one does not want you to stay there, sad for a whole year and do nothing with your life. To me, the pain is there. I have sympathy for you, and I understand why you would do something. You feel like you would have to do something, but at the end of the day, the longer you keep doing nothing for yourself, that becomes an excuse, right? You got fired, you don't look for a job, you're getting more broke, you're going through your savings, you're spending, you're going broke, and you're feeling sorry for yourself. I get that you lost a job, and I get that hurts, but at the end of the day, the longer you do it, it ends up becoming an excuse, right? So conquer the day. So use those 3 core values, guys. Commit, execute, and conquer. And I think that's what it looks like to crush any mountain that crosses your path.
Jay Perez, you said it so very well. And I love that we both start with C. We both start to commit. You see what I'm saying? And the whole idea really is what a person can do. They don't know until they start. They have to commit to things. They have to execute. They have to refine and rework and undertake undertake the task at hand. And all of us have been through challenges. All of us have been through darker moments. In fact, one way or another, if we haven't been through it, that just means it's coming. You got to be prepared for your storm.
Exactly.
So when that storm hits, the person has to be determined to weather it and get to the other side, because there's still work to do. And we want to thank you so very much, Jay, for bringing your insights, your experience. We look forward to greater things from you, and we're definitely going to keep in touch. So again, your Instagram handle is?
It's JAYD Perez. So JD Perez, and then you'll find everything I'm doing, whether it's Exuvus, Fastbar, GENOVIX, all in my bio.
Beautiful, beautiful. We really look forward to seeing that and seeing more of your work. Perhaps there will be some events happening coming up, and you'll be appearing there and maybe speaking there. I know Jen saw we will do some collaborations in that vein as well. But until that time, friends, again, don't let life happen to you. Understand that life happens for you. Commit to your life for the better. Execute your life for the better. And conquer the challenges that you face. As I always say each week, and I'll see you again next week, don't just climb your mountain. Crush it.
Love it. All right, guys, have a good one. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Jay.